what you need to do for me? Will you tell my wife that? Would you tell her that I love her and stuff? And he's like, yeah, I'll do that. What are you gonna do for me? He's like, I'm gonna save the fucking day.
Yeah, I was like, what the heck? He whips his mullet too. He's like, what the heck?
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to a new episode of Mostly Wrong Opinions. I am Tyrone. That is Devin. Wait! Before we go forward, can you please hit that subscribe button right there? All right. Now, let's get on to our episode today. It is a rewind episode. It is the 1997 Nicolas Cage movie, Con Air.
After serving the last of his sentence, Cameron Poe is taking the first plane home to his wife and daughter.
It's Nicolas Cage in a white beater and a mullet.
And like his whole demeanor is bizarre. He's got like a southern accent, dirty wife beater, and a nasty looking mullet on his head.
Nicolas Cage plays Cameron Poe. Okay, he is a retired ranger, and he is in the wrong place at the wrong time. He gets into a bar fight, protecting his lady. And
I was watching it. I was like, "There's no way this guy will go to jail today. There's no way." Because first of all, it was clearly an accident, and secondly, you're telling me a white, conventionally attractive Army Ranger kills someone outside of a bar and he goes to jail? Today he'd be like president. You know what I'm saying? Like this guy would be your newest senator. Like, what are you talking about?
Bro, I agree. She's like, get in the car, Cameron. And he's just like, I'm gonna go towards it. I'm like, your door is open.
Yeah, just get in the car. He could have easily just gone home.
Cameron, get in the car.
He gets into a fight, guy accidentally dies, and he goes to jail.
In West Philadelphia, born and raised on the playground is where I spend most of my days. Chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool and all, shooting some b-ball outside of the school. When a couple of guys who were up to no good started making trouble in my neighborhood. I got in one little fight and my mom got scared and said, "You're moving with your auntie and uncle in Bel Air."
And after 10 years, he served 10 years. He's never cut his hair for some reason. Don't know why. He seemed to have a good time in jail too. What the heck? He's reading books and making friends and all that stuff. But then he gets out. Time to go home. 10 years are up. And he's going to go fly from California. And this becomes important. He's in jail in California. He flies from California back to Mobile, Alabama. And so he's going from west to east, hitching a ride on Con Air. And they call it Con Air because it's a bunch of convicts in the air. And they're flying all across different places. First stop, Carson City. But of course, we all know it does not go as planned.
I don't think that's a thing today. To where do they fly convicts in the air?
Well, they are going to go and have a look.
Taken away.
I guess it doesn't really matter, right? But one thing that is weird is like when the convicts take over the plane, I'm like, okay, this is 1997, post 9/11, and there's a hijacking in the air with nothing but convicts. They'd have shot that thing down. 10 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. I have the only gun on board. Welcome to Con Air.
This is actually the first rated R movie that I ever saw in the theater.
Really?
This was it. I went with my parents and I was like, do they know this is rated R? And my dad was like, yeah, it's all right, come on. I was like,
Bro, I saw The Good Son.
In theater?
Yes. Wow. I saw, remember Fled?
Fled? Nope.
You don't remember Fled, man? Fled with Lawrence Fishburne and Stephen Baldwin.
Oh, is that the one that's it's like based in Atlanta?
Yeah. Saw that.
That's funny.
Saw Money Train.
That's funny.
All this rated R stuff.
And that's why you're the degenerate you are today, Tyrone.
It doesn't matter. Mama's like, you'll be all right. You know right from wrong. I taught you good, all right? When I'm not home, don't open that door for nobody.
And make sure the meat is thawed out.
Thawed out. Yeah, this film stars some of the most interesting characters, man. And one of them is Danny Trejo, man. He had on his arm of how many people that he raped.
Yeah, his name was like Johnny 23 or something like that, because he raped 23 women or something crazy
it's
like that.
Fucking crazy, man.
You know what I am?
Ugly all day.
Yeah, and this kind of is the theme of the film here. I forgot, because it's been so long since I've seen this film. I forgot who was in this movie. So yeah, Danny Trejo's in here, and this was right after Heat. Actually, I think Heat was like 1994, so this had to be right after Heat. And and Heat was the movie that really kind of put him on the map. So anyway, so he's in this movie, and he's absolutely appalling. And then we got freaking Dave Chappelle is in here. I was like, what? Dave Chappelle's in this movie? If this movie were to be remade today, I don't think they could have these characters like this anymore, because they had some open racists. They did have like a skinhead Nazi dude who I don't think he says a word. I think he just gets shot in the head. Boom. So, but yeah, it was open racists, and then they had some rapists, and then there was a scene with Steve Buscemi with like a little girl, and I'm like, is he gonna kill this little girl or rape this child? I'm like, what the heck? And then Dave Chappelle, everyone just calls him the N-word all the time. Like, Jesus, what the heck? A lot of the dialogue is like extremely dated, and yeah, it would never fly today. But one of the reasons why it might fly is that these are all villains in this movie. There are really no good guys, because you really can't get comfortable. I'm like, man, this stuff is like hyper racist or hyper sexist. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah, he's got, it's only two good dudes that's on that plane, and that's Cameron Poe and his buddy Bubba Gump. So
poor Bubba Gump, because he spent the whole movie like dying. And so he's like, I need my insulin, man. And then they finally give him his insulin. He's like, oh, thank you so much. Bam! He gets shot in the chest. And I'm like, what the heck? And he's like, I'm bleeding to death, man. I'm like, yo, he spends the whole movie like in mortal pain. The movie it's kind of like a serious Michael Bay thing going on, because
for sure.
I mean, it doesn't have like that like golden sunset thing that Michael Bay does all the time, or
the upward turnaround camera,
right? Or like the American flag flapping all majestically in slow motion. It doesn't do all that kind of stuff. But it does have like a Michael Bay vibe. So you can tell by looking at the movie like what movies were popular, which actors were popular at the time. So it really is kind of like a time capsule type of film.
I felt like the story in this movie was very simple. Cameron Poe wants to get out of jail, get to his daughter and his wife, and and just be a father.
I feel like the story was like almost incidental, which again, like we talked a little bit before we started filming, but this film is really is like a relic of the past. It's like a genre that more or less is just dead, and it's just action for the sake of action. The story is as thin as possible. They do the bare minimum to get Nicolas Cage in jail in the air. That is it. Everything else, they don't care. They don't really care about that little girl. They don't really care about his wife. They don't really care where he's going.
What you need to do for me? Will you tell my wife that? Would you tell her that I love her and stuff? And he's like, yeah, I'll do that. What are you gonna do for me? He's like, I'm gonna save the fucking day.
Yeah, I was like, what the heck? What? He like whips his mullet too. He's like, what the heck?
I'm gonna save the fucking day.
It's interesting this is really remembered as a Nicolas Cage film, when I feel like this is really like a John Cusack film, because like halfway through, Nicolas Cage is just kind of flying in the air, and the movie almost forgets about him, and we watch John Cusack run around trying to, find the plane,
put the pieces together.
Yeah. At the time, you gotta remember, Nicolas Cage was a fairly recent Oscar winner, so he was like really, people were taking him kind of seriously as an actor, and so when he comes on set or comes in the movie looking like this, you're like, what's he doing? And so I think today this is pretty normal Nick Cage behavior, but at the time people were like, what the heck? But it's funny that Nicolas Cage has a movie about Nicolas Cage, and John Malkovich had Being John Malkovich, and John Malkovich is in this movie, so that's really funny. Yeah, a little symmetry there.
Let's go ahead and just rate this film, man. With all the 90s flair that this film has.
It's a good way to say it, 90s flair.
90s flair. The one-liners, the slow motion, the reason he's even there, you know, which would definitely not work in a movie today in today's age. I still feel some sort of nostalgic connection to this film, but that's still not going to make me rate this high, especially when it comes to the ending. He had all he wanted, people, at the end of this film, and he didn't go chase the bad guy.
Because like I said, the plot is like incidental. They really just wanted Nick Cage on a fire truck, and so they were like, just go.
So in my opinion, this film for me is going to get a 7 out of 10.
Okay, I can understand that. This one's going to get a 6 for me. So I don't have as much of a nostalgic connection to this film. Not like I thought I would, because it felt like I was watching a movie I hadn't seen. That's how long it'd been since I saw this movie. I bet the last time I saw this movie was in 1997. So I had no connection to this film at all. It's got a lot of really great actors that I like a lot, like Steve Buscemi, John Malkovich, Danny Trejo, obviously Nicolas Cage.
Dave Chappelle, Vin Rames.
Yeah, exactly. It's got a great cast. So I was really excited to see that. But everyone's not really playing the roles that I was expecting them to. So I'm like, oh.
I kind of expected Dave Chappelle to play the exact role that he did. Because this man, that role was kind of like the same role that he played Robin Hood Men in Tights. Very weird.
It kind of reminded me that Dave Chappelle at one point really was like just like Funny Black Guy number 3. Like for a long time. He was like, he really I guess he did his work. You know, he did the grunt work, the small work, the things that don't really get a lot of attention. And he dies off screen, and they just throw his body into the street. You know, something like this would never happen today if Dave Chappelle were in a film.
Oh no!
If I had to choose between watching this and Face Off, I say Face Off 1,000% of the time.
I'm ready for the big ride, baby.
This movie's really good in like clips, right? It's like the perfect meme movie. It's like this movie's like built for memes. Yeah. But as a movie, it's like, it's fine.
Yeah. But hey, I gave this film a 7. Devin gave this film a 6. And that is our review for the 1997 film Con Air.
Con Air, directed by Simon West.
Thank you, and have a pleasant flight.
Hey, thank you for coming to the channel and clicking on this video and seeing our mugs. Hey, could you do us a favor? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's right there to the left. It's big and red. Click it.
Just sing a harmony.
Baby. but yeah, we'd like to thank you guys for doing that. And if you did like this review of this Rewind episode, hit that thumbs up. It really does help out the channel. Or you can hit the thumbs down and be like, I love all 90s nostalgic. When are you guys gonna review Sylvester Stallone's Cliffhanger? Never. Probably.
Really? Why not?
I don't know. Who knows? But you can like that. That is your opinion. But just remember one thing. It's mostly wrong. You guys have a good day. See you later.
Put the bunny back in the box.
In the box.